damos paso al siguiente ponente, Chang-Hsien Yang, vicepresidente y profesor de la Universidad Nacional Chang-Hsien de Taiwán, PhD en genética de la Universidad UC Davis y postdoctorado en Berkeley. Yang hablará del análisis funcional de genes en la regulación de las identidades del perianth y desarrollo de orquídeas.
Okay. First of all, I would like to thank the organizer inviting me here, because this is my first time in Colombia. Actually, it's the first time in South America. Okay, and I really enjoyed. I arrived here yesterday, and last night we had a really good party, and so many people helped me. So thank you very much. And it is really my great pleasure to have this opportunity to present my work here. And I'm sorry because I catch a cold, so probably my voice is a little bit low, so please forgive me. And I think for most of the people in this audience know orchids very well. So today I would like to speak something about gene regulate or mechanism regulate the flow orchid flower organ formations. Okay, so for most people in this audience know pretty well the orchid actually is a more than like 28,000 species in 5 subfamilies. So this is all orchids. Then when we in my laboratory we study several topics we study. Like first one is flower induction. And flower induction is because in orchid industry, especially in Taiwan, most of the farmers they ask us to solve some problem. First of all is the orchid the life cycle is too long. When you grow orchid, then the finally when they set the flower, probably more than 2 years. So in my laboratory, most master students never want to study orchid. Yeah, because master degree they only have 2 years. So if you got nothing, then probably you can't graduate. So first question we want to solve is to study the flower induction and trying to make the flowering time shorter. Then the second is here. Second is flower organ identity. Is if you make the orchid flower normally, then the next question is can you modify or manipulate the flower shape? Like most people know orchid composed like sepal. This is dorsal sepal and two letter sepal, and this is a petal, and this is a very unique lips. So if we can study the genes regulate all these flower organs, then we can modify those genes expression. Then probably we have chance to modify the flower shape. Then the next is after the flower organ identity being determined, then what is the flower development? For instance, like size, symmetry, color, and senescence can be modified or controlled. So all these 3 topics actually today I would like to share with you and some result I obtained in my laboratory. So basically it's gene. We study genes. We clone gene and we express the gene or knock down the gene expression. Then to make the flower, the orchid flower change size, change color. Okay. Then let me give you some example. For instance, this gene always 1 actually is clone isolated from Andinas orchids. Then when we ectopically express this gene in a rhodopsis, like here, or tobacco, then you can see here, this is a normal rhodopsis, 2 weeks old. So this rhodopsis only make flower, make leaves, and still keep in vegetative state. And when we ectopically express this gene, Andinas gene in rhodopsis, then the flower, they set flower about 10 to 14 days. So significantly promote the flowering. Then if we transfer this gene in tobacco, then the similar result will observed. Like this is wild type tobacco, then this is transgenic tobacco. Then you can see clearly after like 40 days, then the flowers already sit in transgenic plants. And we also transfer this gene into eustoma. Eustoma actually is a very popular flower plant around the world. Then you can see here, this is a panel A, this is wild type, and this is transgenic plants, and already set flower. Okay, then when you see flower, the flower look quite normal. Yeah, you don't want to make the plant flower early, then make a very strange, abnormal flower. So you don't like it. Then because this gene we cloned from Andinas orchid, the original purpose is trying to modify the flowering time for Andinas orchid. So we transfer this gene back to Andinas. That overexpression, this gene, then we find. Okay, so this is normal wild type Andinas. Here, then this Andinas still stay in vegetable states. You cannot see even the formation of the pseudobud. Then, however, this transgenic plants is around like less than 1.5 years. Then the flower, the inflorescence and the flower already coming out. So when we check the flower, then we found that the flower, Andinas flower, is quite normal. So we use this gene, overexpress this gene, then we can modify the flowering time for the Andinas orchids, and to shorten the flowering time from more than 2 years to 1.5 years. Then some strong transgenic plants with strong phenotype is about 1 year, then they set the flower. Now, of course, because in Andinas we still found the Andinas, even in transgenic plants, the pseudobud is still necessary, so you still have to make the pseudobud. Okay, so then we patent these genes, and so whenever the people want to promote their plants flowering, then can use our gene, then just probably put in the first is ectopically express this gene, or you can put this gene under control by a specific promoter. So this promoter can be controlled whenever you want to let the gene express. Then you can make the plant flower early as you want. Okay. And another gene, like we also can clone the Andinas gene, named ONFG. Then this gene, once we ectopically express this gene in our autopsis, then you can see this is a wild type, and this is a transgenic plant. And this make like 4. Normally, wild type make like 8 to 10 leaves. Then this transgenic plant only make 3 to 4 leaves and flower. So this gene actually has great potential to modify the flowering time in different plant species, especially in orchids. Then, as most people know, actually transgenic plants in orchids is quite difficult. It's not that easy. So we have to cooperate with our colleague. They are expertise in tissue culture. So we give them the construct, and they transform it into orchids. And finally, we got some result. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. So this is that is the first question. It is possible we modify the gene expression, then we can modify the flowering time for the orchids. Then the most important we want to study is the flower organ identity. Yeah, see, this is a Phalaenopsis orchis flower. So once you try to modify the flower shape, then you have to understand completely what the gene and the mechanism regulate the flower shape. Okay, and then we introduce a little bit. Probably people know about the so-called ABCD model. Like 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago, the plant scientists developed a model to explain the flower formation. Then they call ABCD model. In this model, A function gene express only, then make simple. Then B plus A genes and plus E gene make pattern. Then if B plus C and E make stamen, and the C plus E make a couple. And this B gene make ovule. But traditionally, we only say A, B, C, D model. So whenever you express the gene, like B, express B gene, then you probably will make the flower organ, change the organ to petal or stamen. Okay. So this is a so-called perianth. Perianth is a sepal and petal. In Orchidopsis, sepal petal are different organs. They look different. However, in orchids, most people, orchid people know, sepal petal are very similar. Okay. So we want to know that in this slide show you in Orchidopsis, the flower symmetry actually is actinomorphic, and the lily is actinosymmetry also. Yeah, because you can't distinguish the flower from left-hand side to right-hand side. Yeah, they don't have the right and the left. But however, in orchids, then because the orchid make a lip, so make orchid, you can distinguish the right side to left side. So orchids actually is zygomorphic, and this is cartoon figure for these flowers. Then so in Orchidopsis, it's very easy to understand because in Orchidopsis, B plus A plus E make petal, then B plus C plus E make a stamen, and A plus E make a sepal. Then how about in lily? Because the lily make a very similar sepal and petal. So in lily, yes, no problem. The B function gene extends its expression into the first hole, so-called the sepal. Because in lily, actually sepal and the petal, we then tepal. So in the first hole tepal, the B function gene extends here. So no problem at all. The sepal and petal, the expression pattern for the main spark gene are similar. Okay, then how about orchids? Yeah, because orchid, not only sepal, petal, very similar, they also make a distinct leaves. So what kind of gene in this ABC model control the leaf formation? That is our goal, trying to understand. Okay, so then here, just give you some idea about. Okay, this slide show you. Then this is as I showed you in the previous slide. There are different orchids, and they make different lips. See, the lips actually is quite different. In Oncidium orchid, they make a big lips. Okay, and so the lip, people know that lip actually provides a platform for potential pollinate. And several, I just show you some very interesting lips like these lips for these Hypanoria orchids, or we call Jetta bee orchids, because the lips actually becomes the leg of this bee. Okay, and this is a butterfly orchids, and lip is quite big, and this is a so-called Jetta phoenix orchids. So the lips actually is here. Okay, and when you see from different sides from this Jetta phoenix orchids look like airplane, so people sometimes call these orchids airplane orchids. And the question is how these leaves in control and what kinds of gene make the leaves. And we spend lots of years to clone the so-called ABCDE genes from orchids. And as you can see here, there are 3 A function gene, and 2 E function gene, and 4 B function gene, and 1 C and 1 D. So when we see this is 1 PI, okay, and this is 3 AP3. When we see 3 AP3, we think, wow, that's good. Yeah, because if only 1 AP3, 1 PI gene in orchids, then this 2 genes is very similar to Orchidopsis. Then how can we explain orchids are different from Orchidopsis? So now we see 3 AP3 gene That means different combination between AP3 and the PI probably determine the formation of the lip and the sepal pattern. Okay, so then first of all, when we clone the B genes, then we have to make sure this is a B function gene. So we ectopically express this B function gene, in orthopsis. Then we find if this gene is extended, its expression in sepals, then the sepal contain B, A, and E. So the sepal will convert it into petal. So this once we got the transgenic orthopsis, then this orthopsis sepal convert to petal. Then we can make sure this gene is B function gene. So when after we transfer this gene into orthopsis, this is wild-type orthopsis. You see, the sepal and the petal are quite different. Then in transgenic orthopsis, overexpression on Andinas B function gene, then we find the sepal look very similar to petals. So that makes sense because once you put the B and A together, then this organ will be formed as the petal structures. Okay, so that's the strategy. We test our genes. So we transform all those genes into orthopsis, from Phalaenopsis gene into orthopsis, and to test their functions. Then once the phenotype just like we expect, then we know those genes belongs to A, B, C, D, E. Okay, so we name this flower Snow White. Yeah, because in normal orthopsis, the sepal is green and small. Then in these transgenic plants, actually sepal becomes the organ very similar to petal. It's completely white from white colors. Okay. So now back to our story. So we find this is 3A gene and this is 4B gene. This is 1PI. Okay, is that possible? Because these B genes interact with this PI differently than make orchids make the sepal, petal, and leaves differently. Okay, so that's what we want to solve this problem. Okay, so this slide just to show you a little bit complicated, but however, I would like to make our story simple. So if you see these pictures, okay, here, this is Oncidium orchid. Okay, this sepal petal is a red color, and the leaves is a yellow color. Okay. Then when we tested the gene expression in this panel, okay, we find sepal express OAP3-1 and OAG6-1, and we find the petal express OAP3-1 and OAP3-2. Then OPI actually expressed everywhere. Okay. Then we find the leaf expressed OAP3-2 and OAG6-2. Before our finding, the people working on orchids, they study the gene expression. They can make a conclusion because see this gene OAP3-2. If I ask you a question, you think OAP3-2 is this gene responsible for leaf formation? It look like yes, because this gene expresses leaf. However, this gene also expresses petal. So makes things difficult because if you conclude OAP3-2 control leaf formation, then how come this gene also expresses petal? So this expression pattern is confusing scientists for a long time. But we designed a formula. That means we thought these two blue colors, OAP3-1 and OAG6-1, they interact to each other, form a SP complex. And this color, this purple color, OAP3-2 and OAG6-2, form a L complex, so-called lip complex. Okay, so these two genes, these two proteins has to interact with each other, then to perform their function. If only one, like OAP3-2, only one proteins without its partner, then L complex will not form in the petal. So this is the model. So based on this model, we know the leaf need L complex and sepal petal need SP complex. Then how about these mutants? Yeah, in this mutant, you see two petals converted into leaf-like structures. So then, can you tell me how about those genes expression in sepal and leaf-like petal and leaves? Okay. Then when we test the gene expression, we find yes, this SP complex, okay, SP complex expressed normally in sepal petal. Normally in sepal petal. Then in petal, okay, there's one L complex, blue color. Then we find the OAP3-2. This is L complex. Extend this gene expression into petal. Once these purple colors, OAP3-2, extend expression here, then we find this in petal L complex expressed here in the petal. So in petal, there's a SP complex and L complex together that make sepal, make this petal into a leaf-like structure. And this is leaf. Leaf is no problem at all because leaf only express OAP3-2 and OH-6-2. Then how about in this category? In this category, the leaves converted into sepal petal structures. Okay, so when we test the gene expression, we find yes, this OAP3-1 expressed everywhere. See, this is SP complex. So SP complex expressed in leaf, so make leaf converted into sepal petal structures. Then how about here? These mutants make dorsal sepal into a leaf-like structures. So we find yes. In these mutants, dorsal sepal, this is L complex is expressed in dorsal sepal. So in dorsal sepal, there is a L complex and without the SP complex because remember the blue color is only OH-6-1, but OAP3-1 is not here. Okay, so I hope I did not make you confused. But that's the simple, the complex. The message is as long as this perianth express L complex, then this perianth will make leaf. Then as long as this perianth organ make SP complex, then this perianth will make sepal or petal. Okay. And this is our model. Then our model indicate then this L complex, this AP3-2 and L6-2, if this complex expressed together, then will make leaf. And if this complex is SP complex, will make sepal petal. Then if you co-express these two complexes, you will make a flower organ intermediate leaf and sepal petal. If none of the L or SP complex expressed, then this flower organ also will convert into intermediate, it's leaf or sepal petal intermediate complex. Okay, so this is the model. Okay, and we tested our model in all the 5 subfamily of orchids. Then we found here 3 patterns. The first pattern is leaf. In leaf is only solely express L complex. Then the second pattern is L complex actually is strong expressed. Then the SP complex, you still can detect SP complex in leaves. Then however, the SP complex expression is quite weak. Then the third pattern is L complex and SP complex expressed equally strong. In this pattern, these orchids leaf will convert into very similar to simple pattern. Like in this red color one is here, okay, red color one. This pattern, see, in those leaves, in these orchids, the leaves actually is very similar to simple pattern. Okay, these three actually in this category. So the message is as long as these two complexes together, then you will make a leaf more intermediate structure. Okay, so this is our result. Then we publish this paper, this finding in Nature Plants. Okay. Then in this model, L complex wing then make leaf. SP complex wing makes simple pattern. So in this orchids, this is Cattleya orchids. Okay. So in leaf, this is L complex. These four proteins interact with each other, make L complex. Then this is AP3-2, this is L6-2, L6-2, and PI. These four tetramer. Then these four tetramer we call L complex. Then make leaves. Then if AP3-1 and L6-1 plus PI make SP complex, then this SP complex will contribute to make the petal and the sepals. Okay, so then this is Cattleya's mutants. These mutants actually make leaves. This is the three leaves. Make a petal leaf-like. Okay, this is a sepal, and this is petal. So the petal actually converted to leaf-like. Then we know the leaf is L complex. Then the sepal is the SP complex. So what's happened to this petal? So when we tested the gene expression, we find yes, instead to make the SP complex, actually these mutants make the L complex in these leaf-like petals. So make the petal converted into leaves. Then how about this is Dendrobium orchids? Then this Dendrobium orchid actually is a three petal. It becomes leaf converted into petals. This is no wild type of Dendrobium orchid. This is SP complex. This is L complex. Then how about here? This is SP complex. Then how about this leaf? Because this leaf converted into leaf petal-like structure. So we find yes, this leaf the SP complex actually is appeared in these leaf-like structures, and L complex actually 6-2. So this L complex is completed the mission missing. So only SP complex appear in this leaf-like structure. So make this leaf become petal-like structures. So then we have to test this hypothesis because those mutants in nature, we find those mutants in the market. But can we modify, based on our model, then to modify the flower structures? Okay, this is a Phalaenopsis orchids. Then we use a strategy called VIGs. It's a virus-induced gene silencing. So we modified, we knocked down the expression for L6-2 by VIG strategy. Then this LAG-like 6-2 expression was downregulated. Okay, so this L complex was weaker than normal. So we make the flower like this. Okay. So this flower, this is a Phalaenopsis orchid. In this orchid, 6-2 this gene expression was knocked down. So you make a leaf is in between leaf and petal. You make a big leaf. Okay. So when we examine the cell surface epidermis study cell structure, we found that the cell structure actually is similar to petal. Okay, why the leaves become bigger? Yeah, because L complex was knocked down. So normally L complex is expressed here. However, we knock down the expression of the L complex, so make the leaf converted into petal structures. Okay. And this is Oncidium orchid. We did the same thing. We knocked down the AG like 6 diffuse expression. Then we find the Oncidium orchid look like these Oncidium orchids make a small leaves, and interestingly, this in the middle look like a small sepals in between these leaves. So because L complex was altered, so this leaf actually is converted into a sepal petal and leaf intermediate structures. So the story is told you about once you know the gene expression, gene pattern, what kinds of gene control, what kinds of perianth, then you can modify this gene expression. Then you can change the flower organ structures. Okay, so and this is a Phalaenopsis orchids. Then the same thing. Once we knock down the L complex expression, then we make this orchid produce big leaves. Okay, big leaves. And when we take a close look of the leaf, this leaf actually is much bigger than this water leaves. Then we call this orchid phoenix orchid. Yeah, because it looks like it's a phoenix, like a bird trying to fly. Okay, and so we use this VIGS strategy. Then we inoculate biosynthesis construct virus vector into whatever Phalaenopsis orchids. Then after 2 months, we find this is wild-type orchids. Then this is our VIGS orchid. We make the leaves much bigger than this. Okay, just take 2 months. Then in the market, if the breeder trying to make a bigger leaves into one specific orchid, probably you have to backcast many times. So you need to spend many years. However, in our case, in our system, we only need 2 months. Okay. And this is another Phalaenopsis orchid. So after 2 months, these orchids, the leaves become much bigger than this. And this is one of the we call this is a fire phoenix. Okay. And this is orange phoenix. See, when you knock down the L complex, then you after 2 months you see the leaves become much bigger. Then this is a zebra phoenix. Okay. And this is a pink phoenix. See, you can see very clearly that the leaf become much bigger. And this is a red phoenix. Okay. And this is a yellow phoenix. So whenever the Phalaenopsis cultivar you bring to our laboratory, and after 2 months I can give you these orchids. Okay. And this is a green phoenix. Okay. And this is a so-called pink heart phoenix. And this is very clear. The leaves actually is completely different from this small red one orchids. So we patent this gene. Okay. Whenever you are trying to make a bigger leaf orchid, then you can use this gene. But you have to knock down this gene expression, and you will make a bigger leaf orchids. So actually, we demonstrate our phoenix orchid in 2016 Taiwan International Orchid Show in March, like 3 years ago. Now I know in this audience, many people trying to go to Taiwan next year, March. Okay, it's this International Orchid Show. There are so many orchids over there, and they won't disappoint you. That you can go and to see and find the orchid interesting. So in 2006 we escaped our phoenix orchid in this show, attracting many people's attentions. Yeah, because that we can create this orchid in very short of the time. Then, however, one drawback is people worry about is this Chang-Hsien GMO crops, GMO flower, because people they don't want to because this is a virus-induced gene silencing. So people think probably this is abnormal. So still, there are lots of people protest this kind of strategy. But no problem at all. We just try to do our research. If we can modify the flower shape, that's okay. Okay. So this is the mayor of the city. Okay, Tainan City. But now he's stepped down already. And this year there's a Taichung World Flower Exposition. Then our Phoenix Orchid also go to demonstrate in that orchid show. Okay, so I still have like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. So I would like to give you one more example about the flower development. Once the flower, those genes, so-called ABCD gene, determine the flower organ identity, then next question is what kinds of gene determine the size of the flower organ and the symmetry of the flower organ or color or senescence of the flower organ. That's what we want to understand. So we use a strategy. This strategy is the so-called NGS, next generation sequence. So we sequence we extract the RNA from the orchid flower. Then this is from 3 millimeter flow buds. Then this is 6 millimeter flow buds. This is from Oncidium orchids. And this is a mature flower. So we isolate the RNA from all these different flower organs. Then we send it to the sequence. This sequence, all these RNA. Then we are trying to make first one is we find that expressed differentially in leaf or sepal petal is here. If we find that some gene is highly expressed in leaf, then sepal petal, then this gene may be contribute for the leaf formation. Then the second category is this in this blue box. Then this is expressed differentially during different development stage. Then in this box, we find that some gene is expressed higher in late development stage than early development stage. So we are trying to find the two categories of gene expression. First one is the gene expressed is differential expression in leaf and sepal petal. So that means this gene actually is control either sepal petal development or leaf development. Then the second category is we are trying to find a gene expressed during very early stage, is highly in early stage than in late stage, or vice versa. We are trying to find a gene is highly expressed in late stage than early stage. So then if it's expressed highly in early stage, that indicates this gene might be control the early stage of the flower development. For instance, probably control the cell division. Okay, so that's what we use the next generation sequence. Then we identify the gene. Then let me just give you some example. For instance, like this is O1B21 and O1TCP4. These two genes actually is quite interesting because O1B21, as you can see here, this gene actually is expressed higher in sepal petal, and in leaf actually the expression is very low. Then when we test this gene in so-called this is a 3 leaves mutant for Oncidium orchid. We find that this gene actually is downregulated in the petal, see? Because this organ is already converted to leaf. So O1B21 actually is expressed in sepal petal, and this gene cannot express in leaves. And for how about O1TCP4? O1TCP4 actually is a reverse because this gene is highly expressed in leaves, and actually is expressed higher in leaf than sepal petal. Then how about in these mutants? We find once the petal converted into leaves, then the ONTCP4 express become increased. So we have a model. We find we expect ONTCP4 actually is a promote like cell division or cell expansion to make the bigger flower organ. Now ONMIP21 actually is suppress the cell division or expression to make a small flower organ. Okay. So test this hypothesis, we transform these two genes into Arabidopsis. Yeah, because transform into orchids take many times. Then into Arabidopsis is quite easy. Then we find once you overexpress this gene, you make a smaller flower. Once you ectopic express this ONTCP4, you make a big flower. Okay. Then see the petal is here. Petal. So this is wild type petal. This is a ONMIP21 overexpression petal. It's much smaller. This is a ONTCP4 making the big petal here. And we find MIP21, the cell number actually is similar to wild type. So this indicate this MIP21 petal make less cell number. Yeah, because the cell size is the same. However, the size of the petal are smaller. So that means this petal make less cell than wild type. Then here, you find ONTCP4 make a bigger cell. So that means in this big petal, the cell become bigger. But the cell number is the same. So here, we make a conclusion. ONTCP4 actually is activate, promote the cell expansion. Now ONMIP21 suppress cell division. So why in Oncidium orchid make a small simple petal? Because in simple petal, ONMIP21 highly expressed. So this gene highly expressed suppress cell division, so make a smaller flower organ simple petal. Then ONTCP4 highly expressed in leaves. So this gene actually promotes cell expansion, so make a big flower organ leaves. Okay. And so this is the, and if this is true, then we use so-called VIGS strategy. Then we make the Oncidium orchid ONTCP4 VIGS to knock down this gene expression. And if you remember, ONTCP2 is highly expressed in leaf, and to promote cell expansion, right, to make a big leaf. So once you knock down this gene expression, then you inhibit the cell expansion, so you make a small leaves. So you make a VIGS ONTCP4 VIGS Oncidium flower much smaller than the wild type flower. And these two genes, ARF11 and 71, actually is highly expressed in early stage than in mature stage. This is the expression pattern. And this gene also highly expressed in the small bud than in mature flower buds. Okay. So then we also transform those genes into Arabidopsis. Then we find, yes, once we overexpress this gene, ONARF11, ON11, then we make a bigger flower than wild type. Then if you make this gene, make a dominant mutant, you make a smaller flower. Okay. So ONARF11 should promote cell division or expansion. Because this gene is expressed very early, then once the flower becomes mature, then the gene expression are dramatically decreased. So this gene supposedly is promote cell division and expansion. So we also, with the same time, we examine the cell size. Then we find in this gene overexpression transgenic Arabidopsis, we find they make larger petal, okay, large petal. But the cell size, cell number actually is the same. Then the cell actually is larger than wild type. So it's very easy. We know this gene actually is a control, it's promote cell expansion. So once you express this gene, overexpress this gene, then this gene will make the cell bigger, so make the flower organ bigger. Okay. And the ON-ERF71 produce larger flower, the same, see? Once you overexpress in Arabidopsis, you make a big flower. Then this gene might promote the cell division or expansion. So when we test the cell size, we find this gene overexpression make a larger petal, okay, larger petal, that make more cell, make a larger cell. So that means this gene actually is promote cell, both cell division and the expansion, okay. Okay, then this is one more gene, so-called TET9. Once we express this gene in Arabidopsis, make a big flower, okay, then make a big cell. So that means this gene actually promote cell expansion. Then we test this gene in Phalaenopsis orchid. These two cultivar, Phalaenopsis orchid, actually is very similar. It's only different is the size. So we find in this bigger Phalaenopsis orchid, the cell actually is much bigger than this small flower orchids. Then we found the TET9 actually is highly expressed in these orchids than this orchid. That means in Phalaenopsis orchid, once you express higher this gene, you will make a big flower because you make a big cell than this small flower. Okay. And this is the flower ON-PRS control the symmetry. Once you overexpress this gene, then you make the Oncidium orchid see here. The leaves actually they lost the normal symmetry. And once if we overexpressing Arabidopsis, this is wild Arabidopsis, you make those flowers also lost the symmetry. Okay. So this is a small conclusion. In Oncidium orchid, actually NIM21 actually is control cell division. Actually is to suppress cell division, so make the smaller sepal petal. Then ON-TCP4 actually promotes cell expansion, especially in leaves, so make a bigger leaf. Then ON-TT9 and ON-ARF11 actually is promote cell expansion, so make the cell size become bigger, so make the bigger cell, the perianth organs. Then ON-RPS actually control the flower organ symmetry, and ON-ERF71 also control cell expansion and the cell division, then to control the flower organ size. Okay. And we also ectopically express Phalaenopsis orchids genes. Then we find like this 4 case just show you. Okay. Just show you once we overexpress this Phalaenopsis orchid gene, so-called YAP4, we find to make a small, very small flower. Then if you express this PAGIF1, make a very small flower. And if you express PAANT, then you make the big flower, especially make a big petals. And this will make a flower change the petals shape. So we have so many genes. Now all those genes, once you modify those gene expression, then you will change the flower's size and other figures. Okay. Then this is we change the Phalaenopsis orchid, the leaves, they lost the symmetry. Okay. So this is normal leaves, and once we express this knock down this gene, then the symmetry become changed. So make a quite an ugly orchids. See, this is leaves, this is the normal leaves, the lobes here. Then you can see the symmetry completely lost. And this is one gene, so-called PMAS10. Then if we knock down this gene expression, we make the color disappear. So this gene actually is control the flower colors. So if you knock down this gene expression, you can make the Phalaenopsis orchids the color reduce. Okay. Then we test the other Phalaenopsis orchid. We got a similar result. And this gene actually is different, reverse, because once we knock down this gene, then the flower color becomes stronger. Okay. And we knock down these genes, then we make the flower color become yellowish. Then normal, see, the color actually changed to the yellow one. And this gene is actually it's two genes. It's a redundant gene. This is PAS1 and 2. Once we actually silencing these two genes, then we make the flower like this. We make the parents with green wave edges. Okay. So see, if we compare to wild type flower and this VIGS flower, then this VIGS flower actually is completely different from this. Okay. You just silencing two genes. And when we silence these another two genes, PAEIF1 and 2, we make the phalaenopsis orchid flower much smaller than the wild type flower. Okay. And this case is PAF5. When we silence this gene, then the flower senescence is being promoted. So in the same age, wild type flower is still okay, because the phalaenopsis orchid can last long more than two months, but this only like take 1 month, then the flower already senescent. Okay, yeah, we are finished. Then see, this is F5 VIGs. Then the wild type still, the flower still there, and the flower is over senescent and drops. Okay, so this gene actually is actually PAS. Then this is SA1 expression is suppressed. Then we find the abscission. See, this is VIGs. Even the flower already complete senescence. Then, however, the flowers still stay in the inflorescence. Then when we check, we find the abscission role cannot be made. So this gene actually is significantly delayed. So this gene is promoted the abscission. So I think if we combine this gene and this gene, then actually we can make the flower senescence less longer than abscission less longer. Okay. So this is as you can see, the flower already is senescence. Then, however, because the abscission room cannot make, so these flowers still stick on the inflorescence. Then after 3 months, the flower, the plant is completely dry. Then our VIGS plant, the flowers still live on the flower. Okay. So, and then I thank all the students and postdoc to finish the study I just showed you today. And I also thank Dr. Noeli, then provide some orchids species material for me, and Chang-Hsien Yang. And I also thank the Ministry of Science and Technology and the Ministry of Education provided the funding. And okay, so thank you very much for your attention. I apologize because some people know I flew from Taiwan and take 12 hours to San Francisco, then take another 7 hours to Panama City, and then from Panama City to Medellín. So complete my trip, I spent like more than 35 hours. So yesterday when I arrived here, then last night I feel I catch cold. So you can distinguish my voice as actually is I have to speak very I cannot speak very easily. So I apologize if today's talk is not perfect. I'm sorry. I express my sorry for it. Okay, thank you very much.